Okay, dann kann's ja losgehen. Ui, bin gespannt. Ich glaube, der letzte Fall geht wieder richtig gut ab. Vor allem, wenn ich mein Mikrofon umschmeiße. Ach, wie habe ich den denn nochmal gesprochen? Adrian did it. Der war doch so ein Oberdödel, ne? Hat überhaupt nichts auf die Reihe kriegt und für jeden Scheiß seine Managerin angerufen hat. Genau, wir können auch mal eben hier gucken, was wir schon so alles haben. Das ist, glaube ich, auch nicht schlecht. Gerade jetzt beim letzten Fall, mir das nochmal ins Gedächtnis zu rufen. Das ist Nickel Samurai. Glossy photo Maya pushed onto me. Press conference ticket. Seems like the Nickel Samurai has confessed something after the post-ceremony stage show. Das ist mir immer noch suspekt, was es damit auf sich hat, weil er, en garde, ja meinte, er wüsste davon nichts. Während, wie hieß sie noch, Adrian Andrews, meinte ebenfalls, sie wüsste davon nichts, die da. Radio Transceiver, originally from Maya's kidnapper, who goes by the name of The Killer, weil Maya wurde ja gekidnappt. Lotus Camera, stolen on the night of the murder. Tabloid article about the victim was in the case. Okay, das hätte ich jetzt zum Beispiel schon wieder vergessen. Gut, dass ich mir das angeguckt habe. Magazine Clipping, Article from the Tabloid Gossip Land. Was ein dummer Name. Oh, scheiße. Nein. Enter, check. Jam in Midnight Rendezvous, Superstar und Ultra Hot Mega Secret Loves. Achso, das war das über der Klatschartikel darüber, dass Adrian Andrews möglicherweise mit dem Juan Corrida eine Affäre hat oder so. Die Karte. Rechts ist die Lobby, dann die Viola-Halle und links sind die Räume von Corrida und En Garde. Da steht noch Partial. Ich bin mal gespannt, ob wir noch eine andere Karte dann bekommen. Stimmt, dann gab es den Guitar Case, einen Gitarrenkoffer found next to the victim. Empty? Das war auch komisch, dass da keine Gitarre drin ist, wo die doch sein Markenzeichen ist. There is some water, but only on top of the lid. Und found next to the victim, it's filled with tomato juice. No sign it's been drank. Photo of Juan Corrida's murder scene. Da ist er offen. Das fällt mir jetzt gerade mal erst auf. Das ist mir, glaube ich, jetzt mal gar nicht aufgefallen. Das sollten wir uns auch mal direkt merken. Ihm fehlt ein Knopf. Das hatten wir ja erfahren. Der Knopf wurde bei Matt gefunden. In Matts Klamotten. Da war noch eine Vase oder sowas zerbrochen. Ah, genau. Und dann haben wir Celeste Impax. Das war die Mentorin von Adrian Andrews. Und die hat sich wohl umgebracht. Und ihre Leiche wurde von Juan Corrida gefunden, aber ihre Selbstmord, wie sagt man, ihren Abschiedsbrief hat man nie gefunden. Und es wird vermutet, dass Juan den vielleicht versteckt hat. Und Adrian Andrews hat sogar selber einen Selbstmordversuch hinter sich, weil sie offenbar so eine Abhängigkeits, wie sagt man das, Codependency oder sowas hat, wo sie komplett von anderen Personen abhängig ist, obwohl sie sich so stark und unabhängig gibt und das nicht nach außen hin zeigen will. Und da sie von Celeste damals so abhängig war, ist dann ihre Welt zusammengebrochen, als Celeste sich erhängt hat. Gut. Irgendwas bei den Profiles noch. Dann haben wir halt Juan, der Jammy Ninja und ihn. Oldback will ich mir gar nicht angucken. Adrian Andrews is En Garde's manager, intelligent woman who seems to have it all together. And Celeste Impax was Andrews' mentor and Corrida's manager killed herself 2 years ago. Okay.
Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that.
Well, in court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. Stimmt, wir haben ja eigentlich keine Verdächtigen so wirklich, außer eben die Adrian Andrews.
Mountain of evidence?
I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to put this whole thing on you.
Please, Mr. Lawyer, dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that.
I understand. Well, it's almost time. Wer sagt das denn? Oh, oh nein. Mia, kannst du das nicht mal sein lassen? Das arme Mädchen hat sie sich wieder in Pearls reingechannelt. We must get a complete acquittal today. I know. Also, stop doing that with Pearls. That is kind of creepy and awkward. But I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearls either. Sag ich doch. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day.
Indeed. Well, let's get going.
Oh oh. Das ist doch das Ding von dem The Killer. It's him. Von dem Kidnapper. This is right. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired. Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Yet, besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. God. For my sake, as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts. Oh, jetzt bin ich auch gespannt. And even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest. If you please? Wait. Kidnapper sent me a present.
Mr. Lawyer, dude? Who was that?
No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Ich frage mich, wer den Killer überhaupt angeheuert hat. Und aus welchem Grund.
Dude, did your nose just get longer?
Okay. So blöd er auch scheint, ich schätze, das war jetzt auch ein bisschen offensichtlich. 10 Uhr. Habt ihr das auch gerade gesehen? Da war niemand auf der anderen Seite. Hat sich von Karma jetzt Unsichtbarkeitszauber entdeckt.
Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. Are the prosecution and defense ready?
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma?
I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me?
Your Honor. Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session, you know. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has...
Uh-oh.
This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman.
What the...
What?
Das geht ja gut los. War das das Geschenk?
Shot?
Gut, ich meine, wenn wir kein Staatsanwalt da ist, haben wir schon gewonnen. Nein, dann wird wahrscheinlich jemand anders kommen. Jemand anders? Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present? Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. This is totally insane. Miss Von Karma, is she alright? I mean...
I don't have that answer.
Stimmt. Er hat das auch selber gerade erst erfahren. She's alive and in stable condition.
That's good. You're...
Oh yeah. Jetzt geht's wieder ab. Von Karma ist weg. Edgeworth kommt zurück. Your Honor. Due to the circumstances, Miss Franziska Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally.
Bring it.
Okay. Endlich, oh, hab ich darauf gewartet. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt on guard.
The court acknowledges the prosecution.
Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Oh. It is 42. I'm still not sure about the question, though. Oh. Okay, witness, your name and occupation.
Oh, my name is Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct for now.
Ach stimmt, Miss Karma hat auch letztes Mal gesagt, dass sie ihn feuern lässt, weil er uns geholfen hat.
For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir.
Oh, das tut mir aber doch ein bisschen leid.
Detective Gumshoe.
The prosecution has no need for a Schön gesagt. For a depressed witness. Oh Gott, es ist cool, dass er wieder da ist. Es ist so cool. Hi Patrick, du hast nur verpassen, dass Miss Franziska von Karma angeschossen wurde. Von Karma hat so viel Einfluss? Naja, jetzt ist er ja nicht da. Achso, du meinst, weil sie Gumshoe feuern kann. Ja, der Kidnapper hat sich ganz am Anfang gemeldet und gesagt, er hat ein kleines Geschenk für uns. Und als wir hier reinkamen, war auf der Staatsanwaltschaftsseite einfach niemand da. Und dann kam die Nachricht, dass von Karma angeschossen wurde. Aber dafür ist jetzt Edgeworth da. Fuck yeah. Ah, ist das schön. Nostalgisch und alles. Dass sie sich jetzt wieder ein Duell liefern. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah, it would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. Okay, bare facts of the case.
This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Corrida, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder.
Really?
After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room? Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went along to their rooms, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Alright. Done. Press like there's no tomorrow. What happened after the Hero of Heroes award? Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony?
Okay, pal. The ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m. and then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later.
And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say, the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period.
Please continue with your testimony, detective.
The victim was found dead in his hotel room. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct?
Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? She's the defendant, Matt Ongar's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. Oh, so she's a pretty lady.
Hat auch noch gesagt, dass sie Managerin ist, ja, aber offenbar ist das beim Richter schon nicht mehr angekommen.
I wonder if she will grace us with her presence. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. Ongard. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I see, and that's when she found the victim's body.
After looking into the cause of death, we believe it was definitely murder, sir. The cause of death, wasn't that because Mr. Corrido was stabbed in the chest? Yeah, that usually kills people.
Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal.
Wie jetzt?
Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention will be drawn here to this bandana.
Banana. What the fuck, dude?
His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped around, tightly around his neck, sir.
Moment, ist er gar nicht abgestochen worden? Oder er wirkt, oder was?
Oh, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana.
Then, what about the knife?
It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. We have a crafty murderer on our hands here.
Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. Ich muss ja mal eben sagen, dafür, dass wir im Moment davon ausgehen, dass es Adrian Andrews war, kommt mir jetzt so direkt mal der Gegengedanke, wäre diese zierliche Frau in der Lage, so einen muskulösen Typen wie Juan von hinten zu erwürgen?
At first we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case.
Anders als wenn sie ihn vorher irgendwie betäubt hat. And why did you think that?
Because it was empty, pal. The Jumping Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. We couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? The fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How was that?
Yeah.
We thought of that too, but
But?
the only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims.
Only the victims, huh?
I see. Well, so much for my theory then.
Ja, bleib du mal lieber Richter. Ah, okay, das steht jetzt da auch. Bears Corridas Fingerprints.
However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder.
What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case?
The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well then, where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio.
Oh, Moment, hat gesagt, die Gitarre? Oder, also Gitarre oder das? Ja.
The victim, Juan Corrida, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar.
So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel.
Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all.
I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt on guard? Because there was a reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth is back in full swing.
Very well, Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. Yes, sir.
Okay. Lass mal hören.
Merengard and Juan Corrida were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's bun. It was ripped off of the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Engard's hakama.
Also eine Hose.
The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder.
Aber dass das Messer nach dem Tod dann auch eingestochen wurde und die Fingerabdrücke von Matt hat, ist ja irgendwie schon wieder so ein bisschen verdächtig, als wollte eben jemand ihn dafür framen. Gumshoe meinte doch auch, das wären fast schon zu viele Beweise und das wäre unnatürlich. Ja, mal sehen.
So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir.
Knife bears the victim's blood and on guard's fingerprints. In the grip, Gatewater is engraved. Meint ihr nicht vorhin, das wäre irgendwie dafür gekauft worden?
And there's this button. That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood? Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir.
What? So the Jammin' Ninja's button was ripped from his costume, is covered in Corrida's blood, and was found in Onguard's hakama. Great. I don't see how anything could possibly point towards Onguard like this.
All of
Gerade wo ich es gesagt habe.
all of this points very clearly through to the defendant, doesn't it?
Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, right? Huh, I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you'd like, just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. You'll see. You'll see, Miles. Huge rivals. But in terms of popularity, Mr. Onguard won, did he not?
Yeah, but you know what's ironic, pal? Juan Corrida was always one step behind Mr. Onguard and everything. This year it seemed like he'd finally caught up ready for the big final showdown.
But Mr. Corrida lost the Grand Prix in the end.
That is too bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing.
Each know the other guy was in his way. Motive enough. Wait just one second here. Mr. Onguard was beating Mr. Corrida in the popularity polls. Stimmt, warum sollte er ihn dann umbringen? Wäre dann eher andersrum logischer.
Well, yeah, I guess, but...
Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. which means he had no motive to kill at all.
Yes, I quite agree. Well, Detective, it's not, well, I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have had no motive.
Oh. Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired.
No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. That's...
I'll look forward to your pension negotiations.
No, Detective. Let's continue with the testimony. No, not my poor pension, too. Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed. Yes, sir. We can talk about pension later, sir.
What about what I was saying? Hello? Anyone? As for evidence, there's the button. Do you have any proof that button belonged to the victim?
Huh? What do you mean, pal?
Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off of the Gemma Ninja's costume.
Huh? But can't you tell by just looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it.
Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterward.
Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir.
Alright, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Now to reel this one in. Thread. The button was attached to the costume by thread, obviously. And that thread snapped when the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the thread in the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match.
Yeah, that's it. They're a perfect match, pal.
That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. Ja klar, dass der sowas nachschlägt. Was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in Miss Arnold's hakama. When was this button found exactly?
Pretty soon after the body was found, we rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Corina. And then we did a search on them all. That's when we found the button. So it was almost immediately after the murder.
The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks, unlike some people. Ich bin ja immer noch der Meinung, dass eigentlich ihre Nippel da vorne gerade volle Kanne rausgucken müssten, aber gut. Sie ist ein Geist, sie scheint es nicht mehr zu stören. Vielleicht verliert man da sämtlichen Charme. Ja, auch davon abgelehnt, wenn wir jetzt mal von den 2 Hupen absehen. Ich meine, der ganze Rest ist ja eigentlich auch Kindergröße. Und Pearls ist wie alt? 8. Und Mia, ich glaube Mia steht hier jetzt nicht drin, aber sie wird zumindest schon mal älter als 18 sein, weil ja die größte Schwester von Maya ist. Ich kenne eigentlich keine Frau in dem Alter, die in die Klamotten von einer 8-Jährigen reinpassen. Also ja, keine Ahnung. Na, sie juckt. The police didn't have the time to lollygag. Naja. Vielleicht haben sie ja doch nicht die, Nein, nicht das FBI. Ich war es nicht. Vielleicht haben sie ja doch keine Polonaise gemacht. Hey, what is he trying to say about me here?
The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife.
How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife?
What do you mean, pal?
By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand?
Oh, is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think.
Why am I not surprised?
I can't believe the bumbling of this department.
Hopeless, were you paying attention to the testimony, right? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There's no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder.
So, is the defendant the owner of this knife, then? The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder.
Moment mal, nein, ich habe doch vorhin gesehen, da steht Gatewater drauf. Das... Ha. Habe ich aufgepasst. Haha, ich kann das manchmal. Wait a second.
What?
So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand.
That's right, pal. The defendant
Did not buy this knife.
Huh?
Take a good look at the handle of this knife and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Huh?
Kann Gumshoe überhaupt lesen?
It is a Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater. I think I've heard that name somewhere before.
That's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel.
Uh-oh.
Was heißt hier, oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel. Which means this murder was not premeditated. Gut, kleiner Sieg, aber ich meine, wir sind immer noch nicht davon weg, dass es ein Mord war von Matt.
Yes, that is very true. This is very big. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize this. No.
But I didn't...
The question is, where did this knife come from?
Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Carita's room.
Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate her last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table.
There's a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from?
If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt Ongard. Stimmt, das war mir da schon aufgefallen, da fehlt ein Messer. Especially what was on top of his table. There's something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife? We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt Ongard's knife was missing. Ugh. Mr. Ongard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. Oh shit. Going great so far?
Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction.
Seems like Edgeworth had this plan from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it.
A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There's quite a sizable amount of evidence here.
I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown? It means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence. Haben wir was? Vielleicht das Weinglas? Das wurde ja noch nicht präsentiert.
What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright?
Well... Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here, the Gable's face will be ringing out of the sound... ringing out the sound of our defeat. How about we say it?
Mr. Wright, do you have something important necessary to present to this course?
Ja, wenn ich jetzt Nein sage, wäre das natürlich dämlich. Actually, I do. There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see.
Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I am giving you one chance, and only one.
What the judge is saying, Royd, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us.
You may now present one and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court?
Na, das wäre jetzt nicht so genial. Boah, krass, da oben, die Penalty ist tatsächlich die gesamte Energieleiste. Tabloid-Article ist jetzt auch nicht wirklich so wichtig. Karte, nein. Der Guitar-Case, der Gitarrenkoffer wurde ja schon diskutiert. Ich glaube, die Selbstmorddinger haben jetzt auch nicht so wirklich was zu tun. Die Sachen wurden ja gerade präsentiert. Da kann ich ja schlecht sagen, die wurden noch nicht präsentiert. Wine glass found next to the victim filled with tomato juice. Ist das Einzige, was mir jetzt einfällt.